Hello Physical Fiends, it is Jordan here with another Worth of Purchase where I play something for a short amount of time to see if I would buy it myself. Today, I'm taking a look at Ganbare Goemon Daishuugo, which, as it sounds, is a Japanese only release. It is out digitally today on Japanese digital stores, but this is physical paradise and I only care about games with physical releases, and this does have one. I will detail it later in the video, but if you want to import it immediately, I've linked where you can find it down below in the description and pinned comment. But first, the important aspect to know about this is that alongside being a Japanese-only region release, it's also a Japanese language-only release. This is not officially in English, and there are apparently no plans to do so as I'm making this video. That does make playing some of the games a bit tough, but that's what this video is for, to tell you how playable the games are without English. There are 13 games in total from this lovable Konami series. At least that's what's advertised, because actually there are 14 games. It includes a very secret and incredible bonus game that I will talk about too. You have a mix of genres, not overly extreme, but action-based platformers, pseudo-adventure, beat-em-ups, and RPGs. Let's take a look at each of them. I'm going to group them together because, well, there are certain styles of games within this series that are very similar, and I don't want to repeat myself. I'm going to start with the ones that I consider no-goes. At least the games I feel that have the biggest hurdle towards enjoyment. Just get them out of the way. 3 games that are JRPGs. On the Famicom, there was Ganbare Goemon Gaiden Kieta Ogon Kiseru and Ganbare Goemon Gaiden 2 Tenka no Zaiho. They're kind of different in style. One's a bit like Dragon Quest, one's a bit more like Final Fantasy in presentation, but you can get by, but Google Translate will be burning a hole in your phone, and your arm will be aching. Same with one of the more unique spin-offs, Ganbare Goemon Tenguto no Gyakushu, which takes inspiration from the anime and has you playing as a kid who's drawn into the Goemon world. It's pretty cute, to be fair. I wouldn't mind playing any of these, but I would definitely want English, and I wouldn't try with Google Translate. It's just too much. Forget about them. Next up, the simpler 8-bit games that are more normal in what you'd expect from the Goemon games. They're actually very similar to one another. Ganbare Goemon Karakuri Dochu is the first Goemon game on Famicom before the character was really defined. This is a top-down action game that feels like a more arcadey Zelda game. It's surprisingly expansive for the system, lots of houses, lots of NPCs, it's very easy to get lost. A lot of early video game mystery moments with hidden stairs that appear if you jump in the right spots. Its sequel, Ganbare Goemon 2, follows it very closely. Now, there is a lot of NPC dialogue in these games. They don't say much, but there are a lot of houses to go in and a lot of people to talk to. Mostly, it is completely irrelevant, just like nonsense. You can pretty much play the game without that much instruction. What I will say is, just bring up game facts, one of the guides while you play. I didn't do it with these ones since they are simple and basic enough to complete the levels by just wandering around and doing stuff. But if you're feeling overwhelmed, don't be ashamed, okay? Bring up game facts. In a similar style, we have the 2 Game Boy games, both of which, actually, these did get a release in Europe back in the day, both of them, and one of them in North America. Ganbare Goemon Sawareta Ebisumaru. This was part of a compilation, Konami GB Collection Volume 3, and this was called Mystical Ninja Starring Goemon. Your friend Ebisumaru has been kidnapped and you are off to Hizen to rescue him. It is another simple top-down action game, again with some mild RPG elements like equipment. It is a good rendition of what was put on the Famicom. Very much the same DNA. Ganbare Goemon Kurofune to Nonazo was also called Mystical Ninja Starring Goemon. Yep, the same as the other Game Boy game. Same name, different game. I feel like we should talk with GameSack about that. Here you have 3 playable characters. The story and NPCs seem even less important, and this one feels a lot more action-y rather than adventure-y. Some really tough platforming sections here, and enemies do not pull any punches. It feels like one of the weirdest of this 8-bit style. In fact, it feels more like a regression. I think this one came later on, and yeah, it is fun, but it feels older than the other ones. But alright, moving on to the main event for many of you out there, the games you probably recognize as Goemon, the legend of the mystical ninja. On Super Famicom, there were 4 mainline games, although the 4th one is a bit unusual. Now, these are a really great mix of adventure elements, action games, and platformers, side-scrolling. With these ones, though, I do highly recommend following a walkthrough about where to go, which house, which item to pick up. You'll have a much more fun time, and the gameplay alone is enough to get enjoyment out of these titles. I never use guides, but I don't think using them here detracted from my experience, it only enhanced it. Really crazy games with lots going on, silly boss fights, inventive fights as well. So much variety. It's like a roller coaster ride of inventiveness. Many of these can be played with 2 players as well, and that gets pretty nuts. These 4 games are the stars of the show. I think it probably peaks in the second game, at least from the start, because it starts really strong. The first game feels like a nice progression from the Famicom titles, and it's the one that you will be more familiar and nostalgic for, whereas the second game, which did not get localized, feels like a proper step up in the right direction. The third game starts a little bit slow, and the 4th game is just it's kind of weird. The vibe is totally different. It's good, but different. It feels more like a spin-off, even though the gameplay is just kind of the same. Again, follow a guide for these, okay? You won't regret it. Then there's the Game Boy Color game, Ganbare Goemon Sekushu Dynamite's Arawaru. This is a really decent portable edition that feels very similar to the Super Famicom games. Obviously came out a lot later, and it is definitely a simpler experience pared down for the smaller screen, but it plays rather nicely. I think back in the year 2000, those who were craving a more classic experience rather than where the series was going with 3D, they'd have been pretty happy with this. I think it is the most pick-up and playable game in this collection. In terms of languages, do not overlook this one. Soreyuke Ebisomaru Karakuri Mero Kieta Goemon no Nazo is the final Goemon game in this package. But, well, okay, it's technically not a Goemon game because you play as Ebisomaru. There's also another title to talk about that's nothing to do with the franchise. Anyways, this is a puzzle game where you lead Ebisomaru along a track, turning arrows to make sure he gets to his destination. Maybe pick up some bonuses along the way, and hopefully not fall to his death. It's very competent. I have to say the isometric viewpoint was tough for my head to comprehend. I had to play with the controller rotated 90 degrees in order to clear things up a little. I don't know what was going on. I was just really struggling. If you're struggling, then do that. It seems okay, if not like, wholly essential. So those are the 13 games that Konami has told you about in the PR, but there is a secret unlockable game in here, and it might be one of the best unlocks ever. If you go into the credits, which is in the settings menu, input the Konami code. You know it, okay? Up, up, down, down, left, right, BA, start. And you will unlock Crisis Force. This was a super late Famicom shmup that never released outside of Japan, and as far as I'm aware, this may be the first time it's ever been ported before. I could be wrong, but from what I played so far, it is a fantastic little shmup. Incredible visuals for the Famicom. How did they do that parallax scrolling? I have no idea. But it's fast, it's fun, it doesn't make you want to tear your hair out because of difficulty, it's just pick up and play goodness. The power-ups feel great. I'm having such a good time with this one. What a treat to add to this collection. I think shmup fans may want to pick up this package for that alone. And best of all, there's zero language barrier. Now the presentation of this package is also really nice. Obviously a bit of menu fiddling required, but you have a few filters, screen sizes for each game, you have save states. Some of the older games have a speed up feature. Not sure why the Super Famicom games don't have that. Sadly, there's no rewind feature for when you inevitably mess up, but I would never use that anyway. You'll notice I'm playing with the menu on the side there, and at first I'm like, oh, I'm definitely turning that off. However, it is super useful for us Westerners because it tells you what all the items in the game do, what they're for. A quick Google Translate on your phone will have you sorted. It really helps you settle into the game more. It may not be appealing on the eyes, and you can turn it off, don't worry, but for a first playthrough, as you're getting familiar with the experience, I do advise it. It's super helpful. You have all the manuals, of course they're all in Japanese, you have the soundtracks ready to listen to, and yeah, while I don't think the adventure into a completely Japanese collection will be everyone's cup of tea, I think you can get enjoyment out of these. Have a guide on standby, that will cure most of your potential ailments. I know reading can be painful, but you will enjoy the gameplay, I am sure. It holds up. And if you have 2 players, that's even better. You can be confused and bemused and laugh at the games together. Although it does make the platforming heavy games a lot more difficult. Especially if you're playing with your 8-year-old daughter who doesn't really play platformers. She's more of an Animal Crossing type of girl. Now, before I get into the physical release, if you are new here and you like physical video games, you enjoy owning the thing you pay money for, then hit that subscribe button. It will be the best thing you do today, I promise you. I am very useful when it comes to telling you everything you need to know. And of course, the bigger this channel is, the more publishers will pay attention to the demand for physical media. Sony just recently dropped a bombshell about the industry, and it needs as much support as possible right now. So subscribe, do your bit. So in terms of the physical release, well, it's releasing in Japan today on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch in a standard edition. As you should all know by now, it's only in Japanese, okay? There is no English. If you want to import it, you can do so via the links down below in the description and pinned comment. Any purchase made helps support me and this channel in the best way possible. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. You can import from Play Asia, who, if you click my link, and only my link, then you can get 5% off with the code Jordan2026. But click the link first, otherwise it won't work. You can also get it from VGP, who have free worldwide shipping over a certain threshold. They're a very nice company as well. But in Japan, there is also a Konami website exclusive collector's edition that comes with some acrylic standees, a fan, and a very nice looking cloth. Sadly, Konami's Japanese store is region blocked, so that will not be easy to purchase for those outside of Japan. I thought I would mention it just for posterity's sake. And let's be honest, any purchase made of this game, you will be supporting a dormant series. Who wouldn't want this franchise to come back? If it sells well, it could give Konami a sign. Of course, it's also available digitally on the Japanese eShop and PlayStation Network. If you're not a physical fiend, maybe you're a digital well, you can label yourself. If you need some Japanese eShop or PSN credits, I have linked down below where you can get some of that too and still support me there. Would I buy this myself? Yes, I would. I mean, I already did to make this video, but if I didn't, I would buy it. It's not plain sailing, but it is a charming, fun series that with guides and Google Translate on standby, you can definitely get into most of them. Very curious, very unique. There's something about it that feels different to anything else out there. Plus the bonus shmup, that is a lovely cherry on top. I mean, picking up a Famicom cartridge of that game is extremely expensive these days. Let me know your thoughts. Will you be picking this up? If you are hyped about it, hype this video if you have the ability to do so. Spread the word. If you want to buy it, do it with the links below. And if you somehow watched all the way through, please leave me a ninja emoji in the comments so I know who the true legendary mystical physical fiends are. Have a fantastic day. Take care.